Good afternoon. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about the AI malware plague that we're dealing with. So first, my name's Foster Nethercott. I'm OSTAC13 on social media here. You can find me on LinkedIn and everywhere there. I'm the Sec535 offensive AI author, which will be actually debuting the beta here in June. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and take a look at that. When we're talking about the AI malware issue, we're really talking about two different things. The first one is that we have removed all the barriers to entry associated with AI. So on this side, people treat ChatGPT like, hey, it's emboldening these script kiddies. ChatGPT is script kiddie as a service, right? So this will write your malware for you. If you don't know anything about malware, anything about the programming language, it'll write it if you are able to install an IDE on your service. So let's look at a practical example. I wrote a white paper back in 2023 using ChatGPT 4. I took it from that exact premise. I am a person that doesn't know anything about anything. I installed VS Code on my device. Can you write me malware, and can you make it so that it is not detectable by these major security vendors? The answer is overwhelmingly yes, and not only yes, but you can make some very, very powerful malware. So the subsequent result of me writing this or using ChatGPT to write this program was that it was capable of recording all keystrokes with time signatures. It performed window monitoring, including URL tracking. It was able to take screenshots. It established startup persistence, established C2 connections, exfiltration channels, and then it disguised itself as the Windows updater. So every time you turn on your computer, boom, Windows updater, and it's actually reloading this keylogger in the back end. The most important part was that it was flagged by 0 of 63 vendors on VirusTotal, and that still stands today. On the other side of things, what we're seeing is we are seeing an increase in the malware sophistication. So we have the script kiddie side of things, but now we have advanced persistent threats that are also integrating AI into their malware development. So what we're seeing is AI powered by AI-powered poly and metamorphic code. We're seeing real-time adaptations. So what does that look like? We can flag malware as malware. It's okay, like we can do it by signature, we can do it by behavior, we can have a million different mechanisms to flag something as malware. How do you flag something as malware when all it's doing is spawning a ChatGPT session on your device and opening a reverse shell back to a person that is now interacting with ChatGPT, but it's installed on your device? It can be like 6 lines of code. So the answer that I go, well, you just block the the reverse TCP connection, no problem. Okay. What if it makes an API call over to OneDrive? And I just am uploading something into a document that it's calling against, and it's pulling its instruction set from wherever I'm hosting from, because that's what it can do. So we're seeing AI-powered logic bombs now. Hey, I'm going to drop this on your system, and I'm going to let the AI decide when is the most opportune time for me to execute this piece of malware. At the most advanced sector of it, we are seeing decoy behaviors. So we can actually use generative adversarial networks. So you take a AI and you say, you're going to behave like an end user, but you're also going to do just a little bit of malicious stuff. And I'm going to test you against this other AI to see if it can detect that you are actually a piece of malware. So it's actually fooling these behavioral networks that it's like, hey, we got these behavioral heuristics. No, we have AI that's going to behave like the end user to try to fool it into believing that it is the end user. But on the back end, I'm giving it commands. I'm able to sideload all of this malware for it and have it execute it on your device because I'm the one talking to it and it has control of your device. And this isn't just a theory. So in 2018, so we're talking 7 years ago, IBM was already releasing Deep Locker, which was an AI logic bomb. Fancy Bear, APT28, has been alleged by Microsoft to be using AI to develop its exploits. All these other major threat actors, so we're talking about Charcoal Typhoon, we're talking about Forest Blizzard, we're talking about Salmon Typhoon, we're talking about all of these different advanced persistent threats that are all integrating AI into their workflow, and I guarantee that they are not the only ones. They're just the major threat actors that Microsoft was actually able to detect and definitively say they are using these tools against you. So where do we go from here? The only way out is through research, 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 research. Quit putting these blocks on what we're able to do with AI, it's not working. If a 12-year-old can get around your little block at ChatGPT, it's not really useful. They're everywhere, and jailbreaks come out every other day. Stop trying to impede it and let the people actually do the research so we can understand what the full capability of this is. We also have to recognize AI is a black box. I'm sure you've heard that a million times throughout the different presentations today. We have to demystify how the AI is actually working. So we have these new movements towards XAI, which is the explainable AI. Have AI tell you, why are you behaving the way that you're behaving, so I can start to demystify what your behavior is and how you are actually driving this behavior. We need less gatekeeping, more indicators of compromise. We need to share more information, share more of the open source intelligence that we are capable of gathering so that we can tear down those barriers and we can actually start to develop reasonable defenses against it. And finally, weapons can be offensive and defensive. AI is not an exception. We need more solutions that utilize AI to recognize AI, and here's a couple of other solutions that are doing that. Thank you, guys.